Good morning. Very clear morning today. A little bit of Mount Hermon is even visible, which hasn't been visible for a long time. Let me see if it's kind of faint probably for the camera. Yeah, I can see it on the screen here. So it's on top of that ridge there. Let's say about a third in from the left. And you can see a little grayish, a lighter gray over the hill. And that's Mount Hermon. So lots of things we could talk about and share. I'm going to be brief today because the battery didn't load properly here. I did a lot of writing in the early hours this morning and the phone was rather empty. So let's focus on something that the text says. I just forgot one thing here. Hope nobody got hurt there. I didn't do a count before I disconnected, but we have hopefully everybody will be back. So basically the idea in the psalm is that the Lord is enthroned in heaven. He's in charge of all the kingdoms of the earth. And in a certain sense we have a preview today of two major witnesses that in a way symbolize all the witness of Christianity. In a way, because there are so many other aspects. But here we have Peter and Paul. And Peter is in a conversation with Jesus, which is remembered in the primacy of Peter, right at the water edge under this leaf here. Just here before the Mount of Beatitudes. And there's a little church there called the Primacy of Peter, which remembers this gospel scene of John 21. So now we can point it out here with this long leaf that's sticking down. So this is the Mount of Beatitudes where that leaf is touching, where the bird just flew, and then just below it is the Primacy of Peter. And there's a nice little basalt stone church there at the shore, covering the rock where the memory of Jesus cooking breakfast for the disciples. And now we're in the part of the conversation with Jesus and Peter. And do you love me? 3 times. But there's something in this conversation, we won't dwell on that particular point right now as such. There's something in this conversation that connects it with the Acts of the Apostles account. And there we have Paul before Festus, the new governor, an eventual successor of Pontius Pilate, much later. And there we have King Herod, Agrippa, and Bernice. And we're probably in the time of Emperor Claudius, because King Herod was made king, Herod Agrippa, by Claudius the emperor, and he had helped Claudius become emperor. He was very instrumental in convincing Claudius to accept the offer of the Praetorian Guard and become emperor. So now we have all the authority of the emperor vested in Festus for the territory here. So in a certain sense, Paul is standing before imperial power. And in this case, it's really just the introductory piece. We'll have more later. But basically what we're going to see is that Paul is going to be on his way to martyrdom in Rome. First of all, imprisonment, a very gentle house arrest really, until he's martyred and he's able to evangelize and give witness. And the chief witness that's really intended here is based on that prophetic word Paul had heard, that he would be sent to Rome. There you will give witness to me. And then we have Peter talking with Jesus. Again, we can look up here at the primacy of Peter. If you have very good eyes, maybe you can even see it. The edge of the water. Right there, let's go on the very center of the screen at the edge of the water. Okay. So Peter, Jesus is telling him that somebody will tie you and put a belt around you and take you where you would rather not go. And I think these two dramas of Peter and Paul, and they're powerfully remembered in Rome, and they died for Christ in Rome. They're both in and the same situation. And what's their same situation? That they're going to die as martyrs? I would say there's even something higher than that. They're both in God's hands in the midst of the drama of the kingdoms of the earth. Like, why did the Romans even have to bother crucifying Peter? And he'll be crucified upside down. Well, Emperor Nero, then will be an emperor later on. And under Nero, Peter will be, and probably Paul also, will be martyred. So really we're talking about the kingdoms of the earth here very concretely. And in all their power and strength and glory, these kingdoms of the earth, like today also, all the money, all the economies, all the armies, all the technology, all the weapons, all the business, all the commerce, all the ingenuity and inventiveness, all the technology. And the kingdoms of the earth have their purpose and plans and goals and ambitions. And in the midst of all of that, God has his kingdom. He's ruling over all of that. And it's in his hands. They think that they're in charge, these kingdoms, but actually God is forging incredible witnesses to this mystery of salvation. And the application for us would simply be to wake up to the fact. Sometimes we see ourselves very much in a victimhood mentality. And poor us and all these big guys and all these big dudes. But there's a bigger dude in charge of everything. And all the kingdoms of the earth are in God's hands. All the economies of the world, all the wars, all the violent people, all the cartels, all the immense powers of this world, they're all in God's hands. They're just little pebbles on the beach. They're passing. They have the glory of the flowers that will wither in a week or two. These bougainvillea last a long time, apparently. But they're not here forever. And that's why our relationships in our lives to everything, especially to people, but also to circumstances, even illness, even, let's say terminal illness that scares us all so much. All of that's in God's hands. So then that puts us in a very interesting position of recognizing who's in charge and doing his will. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. I'm here to give witness in whatever circumstances they are, in prosperity or in scarcity and want, in health or in sickness, in good times and bad times. And that's really then the commitment of love. That's amazing. And that's the work of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God that the people of the world might mock in the arrogance of their spirit of power and might and capacity. And nevertheless, there's another spirit accomplishing a great purpose, and you're part of that purpose. You have a great mission. You're called to be a great saint, a great witness of the resurrection, of the triumph. In that sense, you can hold your head high as you kneel on the ground before our Creator and Redeemer, and you can be strong. And that's why little children were strong before emperors and gave witness, because the kingdoms of the world are in God's hands. they don't realize it in their blind arrogance, or in their naivete, or in their just plain ignorance. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Have a blessed day. Radiate sunshine for everybody around you. Be like the moon, reflect the light of the sun, the heavenly light that enlightens every person coming into this world. See you later, alligators.